Mount St. Helens has visible and boom in earthquake hobby with nearly 350 quakes over the last numerous months. Mount St. Helens is about to blow its all after the vicinity saw loads of latest earthquakes deep underneath. Mount St. Helens, an ancient pressure, is stirring with renewed depth. Recent facts has found out a 300% growth in capability eruption hazard as this slumbering mass of extraction shows signs of awakening. From mysterious seismic patterns to exceptional changes in its extensive magma community, scientists are detecting signals that propose we can be entering a new chapter in this volcano tale. What secrets and techniques lie inside this geological rebellion, and what may those warning symptoms suggest for the millions living in its shadow? The dwelling mountain Mount St. Helens stands as a testimony to nature's dynamic pressure, its snow-capped peak covering a restless spirit underneath. Since the catastrophic 1980 eruption that converted its subtle metamorphosis, recent satellite TV for PC statistics well-known shows concerning changes, ground deformation patterns that advise motion under the floor, increasing seismic hobby that whispers of hidden forces, and new steam vents performing along the crater's edge. Those indicators, mixed with a measurable boom in thermal interest, paint a photo of a mountain a long way from dormant or whose bones. Scientists tracking these changes have referred to a threefold increase in capacity eruption hazard signs over the last months. Deep in the volcano heart, a complex device of magma chambers and geological faults creates an interconnected net of interest. This community, far greater state-of-the-art than formerly understood, behaves almost like a living organism, responding to pressures, adapting to changes, and preserving a sensitive stability of forces. The mountain's respiratory can be measured through diverse signs: ground swelling and contracting, gas emissions that fluctuate like breath, and seismic styles that pulse with unexpected regularity. Recent information shows that those rhythmic patterns have begun showing uncommon versions, suggesting adjustments in the underlying device. The mountains have an effect on people whose extends far past its visible barriers. Through underground magmatic connections, Mount St. Helens maintains a complicated cording with neighboring volcanoes in the Cascade Range. Like nerve endings in a large geological fearful system, these connections allow strain and magma to drift among exclusive volcanic facilities. Recent studies has revealed that modifications in Mount St. Helens frequently correspond with subtle versions in past time at close-by volcanic sites, suggesting a level of interconnectedness that challenges our traditional understanding of volcanic structures. Warning signs have turned out to be an increasing number of obvious in current months. Seismologists have detected swarms of small earthquakes at depths previously associated with magmatic motion. Ground deformation measurements show styles consistent with magma accumulation, even as gas emissions have shifted in each volume and composition. The mountain's glaciers have shown elevated melting patterns in precise areas, indicating localized heating from underneath. These changes, while subtle individually, create a compelling photo when viewed together. Mount St. Helens is entering a brand new section of interest, even though its actual nature remains unsure. Monitoring stations across the volcano have recorded a sizable boom in both frequency and intensity of these indicators in comparison to historical baselines. As Mount St. Helens continues to exhibit those signs of restlessness, we ought to appearance back through time to apprehend how this mountain has lengthening trajectory and warning folks that lived in its shadow. A journey through time. Long earlier than seismographs and satellite monitoring, Native American tribes of the Pacific Northwest held a deep information of the mountain's temperamental nature. The Coits and Kate humans shared the legend of Lu, a stunning maiden who caught the attention of powerful sons of the wonderful spirit Sahali. Their fierce opposition for her love caused destruction and chaos, prompting Sahali to convert all three into mountains. Lu had become Mount St. Helen, while her suitors became Mount Hood and Mount Adams. This tale, surpassed down through generations, cleverly captured the risky dating among these peaks, suggesting an historical knowledge in their geological connection. The transformation of the landscape became instantaneous and profound. Blast-stuffed bushes lay like matchsticks across the terrain, whilst pyroclastic flows carved new valleys and filled current ones. Spirit Lake, as soon as a popular recreation place, become transformed into a steaming cauldron full of floating logs and particles. The eruption created a completely unique herbal laboratory, permitting scientists to observe how ecosystems recover from catastrophic disturbance. Within this devastated landscape, existence commenced returning in sudden methods, challenging previous assumptions approximately organic healing and succession. The 1980 eruption revolutionized volcanology, forcing scientists to reconsider hooked-up theories approximately volcanic conduct. The lateral blast, formerly underestimated as a volcanic danger, became diagnosed as a prime risk. New tracking strategies had been evolved and warning systems had been delicate. The event additionally highlighted the significance of detecting diffused precursors to eruptions, as the mountain had proven symptoms of unrest for months earlier than the catastrophic explosion. This catastrophe caused the introduction of the Cascade Volcano Observatory and sparked a new generation in volcanic research and chance evaluation that keeps to conform nowadays. As Madsey Balanced reshaped our expertise of volcanic behavior in 1980, scientists started out uncovering an even extra fantastic discovery, a large hidden network connecting this volatile peak to its neighboring giants in approaches by no means earlier than imagined. The Underground Labyrinth, Networks and Secrets under Mount St. Helens. The Cascade Range stretches like a geological spine along the Pacific Northwest, but below its majestic peaks lies something far extra elaborate. Recent studies reveal an interconnected community of magma chambers and pathways, tough our understanding of these volcanic structures. The range isn't always simply a set of person volcanoes but rather a complicated web of subterranean connections that increase for loads of miles below the Earth's surface. Less frequent than previously thought, these volcanoes contain a complexity of large cells. This community permits pressure, warmness, and molten rock to transport and have an impact on neighboring volcanoes in methods scientists are only beginning to recognize. Deep underneath the surface, vast highways of magma create a dynamic device of stress and release. These pathways, shaped over tens of millions of years, serve as conduits via which molten rock can drift among distinct volcanic facilities. Thus, the volcano's magnitude drops proportionately with the scope of the pathway created by vast highways of magma created under distinct volcanic facilities. Using advanced seismic imaging techniques, scientists have mapped those underground passages, revealing a community greater full size and interconnected than formerly thought possible. These magnetic highways don't just display pressure and warmth at some stage in the device, they also distribute pressure and warmth at some stage in the device, creating a. Mount St. Helens occupies a unique position within this network, sitting unusually a long way west of the principal Cascade volcanic arc. This geographical riot breaks traditional rules approximately in which volcanoes must form, suggesting hidden complexities in the underlying geological shape. The volcano sits above a section of the subducting plate that's significantly shallower than its pals, at just 42 miles intensity in comparison to the typical 62 miles visible underneath different Cascade volcanoes. This anomaly has perplexed scientists for many years and recommendations at unique situations riding the mountain's violent behavior. Beneath Mount St. Helens lies an occurrence too large to be a single event. Rising larger than formerly predicted, recent seismic research advocate this chamber may want to theoretically fill the Grand Canyon more than one times over.